It started as a silent tragedy inside a quiet apartment. Mello and his best friend Loka lived there with their owner. They were a family. They were loved. They were safe. But one ordinary afternoon, their owner laid down on the floor and never got back up. Mello didn't understand what death was. He nudged his owner's hand with his wet nose, waiting for a pet that would never come. He barked, waiting for a familiar voice to scold him or call his name. But there was only a heavy, terrifying silence. For weeks, Mello and Loka were trapped inside that apartment with the body of the person they loved most in the world. They survived in darkness, surrounded by filth, hungry, confused, and utterly terrified. Mello stayed by his owner's side, guarding him in the dark, wondering why he'd been left behind. When rescuers finally broke down the door, they thought the nightmare was over. They thought they were saving him. But for Mello, a new and different kind of nightmare was just beginning. The deep trauma of those weeks had broken something inside his mind. When he arrived at the shelter, Mello began to fall apart. The environment was too loud, too chaotic, and too lonely. The moment he was left alone in a kennel, a primal panic set in. It wasn't just barking, it was screaming, a sound of pure heartbreak. He would throw his body against the heavy metal door until he was bruised. He bit through the heavy wires until his gums bled. In a desperate attempt to escape the silence that reminded him of death, he even shattered the glass window of his kennel. The volunteers and staff were devastated. They tried everything to help him. They knew he was terrified of being alone, so they tried housing him with his friend Loka, hoping she would be his anchor. But his anxiety was too deep, too overpowering. Even with her right beside him, he panicked. They tried medications to calm his racing heart. They tried soothing music. They sat with him for hours, but nothing worked. Day by day, Mello was deteriorating before their eyes. He was losing weight rapidly. He was hurting himself in his panic. The shelter staff was heartbroken. They loved him, but they knew he was suffering every single minute he was inside that cage. With heavy hearts, they began to whisper the words no one wanted to hear. Euthanasia. They believed his PTSD was too severe to ever be healed. They believed he was broken beyond repair. They believed he was unadoptable. His time was running out. The decision was almost made. The end of his story seemed written. But then, on the darkest day, when all hope was nearly gone, a miracle walked through the door. A couple came to the shelter looking for a friend. They didn't ask for the easiest dog. They didn't ask for a happy, carefree puppy. They heard about the dog who screamed. They heard about the dog who broke glass and bit through wires. And instead of walking away in fear, they asked to meet him. They saw past the panic. They saw past the reputation of a difficult dog. They looked into his eyes and saw the broken heart of a loyal boy who just missed his dad. They saw a soul that just needed someone to stay. Watch what happens when Mello realizes he is finally going home. The screaming stops. The shaking stops. The monster in his head disappears. For the first time in months, he steps out into the fresh air, not as a prisoner of his own mind, but as a beloved family member. He climbs into the car, leaving the ghosts of his past behind. He isn't perfect. He still has scars, and healing will take time. But he is no longer alone. He found the one thing that could save him, a second chance at life. Mello's story is proof that no dog is ever a lost cause. Even when all hope seems gone, love can still walk through the door and change everything. Every day, thousands of dogs like Mello are waiting for a miracle behind cold metal bars. By sharing this story, you are helping us find them a home. Please subscribe to our channel and become a part of our rescue mission. Together, we can make sure that every broken heart gets a second chance. Thank you for watching.